Okay, so in this next project, you're going to make a very ugly potato head face, something that looks maybe uglier than this. It's just a way for you to learn the tools, how to manipulate them, and how to visualize for your next project. So this doesn't have to be perfect in any way. Mostly we'll be functioning between the viewport shader up here and the X-ray version. And I'll show you how to make this guy. I'm going to go to Add, Mesh, UV Sphere. Meshes are the wireframes that make objects that I showed you in the last video. So in this case, a sphere is a sphere. Looks like a golf ball. And I'm going to use Shift middle mouse button to pan around, zoom in with a middle scroll wheel, and just orbit around things using the middle scroll wheel push down. And I'm going to stretch this thing. I'm going to use the scale tool, pull it up in kind of odd distorted directions to make it look a little bit more potato-like. You'll see that when I go over to the selection tool, I can kind of select around, but I can't select the individual vertices. That's because I have to go to edit mode. And now when I click on or off of it, I can select certain areas. So you can pull them up or move them around using the different transform controls, rotate, move, or scale, but I didn't select all of them. So I'm going to undo that. And this is where wireframe comes in handy. Sometimes you'll need to kind of set yourself at a particular angle, be in the wireframe mode for a moment, grab the move tool, and just kind of pull this guy's forehead up. You can do what you want with this, but you'll see how that kind of allows you to grab all of the vertices front and back. Okay, that looks good enough. I'm going to do a couple other things. I'm going to do a vertices selection here, and I'm just going to grab some specific ones. I'm going to move them forward and give them kind of a crazy eyebrow. So you can see just by selecting those particular areas, I was able to kind of pull some of the form forward. Don't get too picky with this. We're going to move to the next tool. So go over to sculpt mode, and there's lots of different tools here. You can see it brings open a brush. Briefly, if you right click with the brush, it'll allow you to change the radius and the strength. You'll just see how those work. And they all do different things. The ones that I use the most are smooth, flatten, grab, elastic form, and the snake hook. I'm going to do the elastic form tool and just kind of manipulate this shape into looking a little bit more like a person that's kind of ugly and crazy looking. I'm going to pull and click and drag with the mouse, just with a regular mouse button. I'm sort of pushing sections and pulling sections forward. You can see that it's doing both sides at the same time. And if you don't like that, you can check or uncheck these, and it just, you can kind of see here it does the top and bottom at the same time, and it's just symmetrically pulling and pushing and pulling. You can do other things like smooth or flatten. They're not 100% necessary. You can see the strength there was really strong. So if I right click, and now you can see that the strength is a lot lower. Back to object mode, back to add, mesh, and let's do a nose. So we're going to do a cone. And when I've added a cone shape, it adds it right on the point of origin, which is the XYZ axis. So I need to move around. Of course, I'm making sure that my gizmo is selected, and I'm going to give this guy kind of a big pointy nose. Go up to make sure you're in object mode, add mesh. Let's do a torus. That's another fancy word for donut. Let's move the donut over. I'll grab the green axis and slide it forward. Orient you in the right direction. Okay, I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Something like that. And let's rotate it one more time. And then I'm gonna make a copy of this one. I'm gonna grab the move tool and then just Command C and Command V, just the way you copy paste in any other program, and then move it over with the move tool. That works pretty good, but I need to rotate his eye the other way. Good enough. You don't have to be amazing at this at the very start. Add mesh UV sphere. Move tool, bring it over, scale it down. Okay, last thing, I'm gonna add a mouth. Mesh, torus. I want to use the sculpt tools. And I want to sculpt it so it's mirrored. That's actually pretty insane, and I like that. Good enough for now. The last thing I want to show you is how to add eyebrows and dissect some of the forms. So we're going to add another mesh. If you want to cut off part of an object, one of the easiest ways to do it is to go into edit mode, select wireframe, select the part you want to delete. Make sure, by the way, you're on vertice selection tool. Hit the delete key and then say either delete vertices or dissolve vertices. You can see this one left a few extra edges, so I'll need to go to edge selection, grab those, delete them, and say delete edges. And there you have it, another really ugly potato head. Once you're done, just take a screenshot, and we're going to save that. This is all you need to do, something as simple as this. And if it's really difficult to navigate, don't worry about it. We just want you to get started learning Blender in this fun activity.